I came home early, exhausted, running on caffeine, instinct, and hope. All I wanted was my bed, my husband, something familiar, something safe. The apartment was too quiet. Painfully quiet. No gym bag, no coffee brewing, no movement, just silence pressing against my chest. Then I saw them. Rose petals, red and careless, scattered across the floor, leading down the hallway. My heart tightened, slowed, then raced. We weren't celebrating Valentine's Day. Not this year, not like this. I followed the trail anyway, every step heavier than the last. Outside my bedroom door were red heels. My sister's heels. The ones I helped her choose, laughing, joking, never imagining this moment. My hands shook as I pushed the door open. They were asleep. My husband's arm wrapped around her bare shoulder, my pillow under her head, my space stolen. Champagne glasses sat on my nightstand, mocking me. For a second, my mind refused to understand what my eyes were seeing. Then she opened her eyes. She didn't panic, didn't scramble, didn't hide. She just looked at me and said, calm, cold, fearless, "You're home early." My husband woke up, confusion turning to terror. "This isn't what?" I asked, my voice steady, my heart breaking. "Isn't you sleeping with my sister in our bed?" She sat up slowly and looked at me, not ashamed, almost proud. "I'm pregnant," she said. The word hit me like a blade. Pregnant, with my husband's child. In that moment, I understood something far worse than betrayal. This wasn't a mistake, wasn't an accident, wasn't a single bad choice. This had been happening for a long time. And I didn't know yet that losing my marriage was only the beginning of everything they planned to take from me. The room felt smaller, tighter, like the air had weight. I couldn't breathe, couldn't think, couldn't even scream. "How long?" I asked, my voice barely holding together. My husband didn't answer. He just stared at the floor. And somehow, that silence hurt more than any words ever could. My sister spoke instead, slipping into her dress like this was routine, like this was just another morning. "A few months," she said calmly. "We were going to tell you. We just needed the right time, the right time." Those words rang in my ears, cruel, insulting. While I was working late nights to support our life, while I was paying bills, planning our future, taking care of his sick mother, they were building something behind my back, quietly, deliberately. "It just happened," she added. I laughed, sharp and broken. It just happened. Like betrayal was an accident. Like choices didn't exist. She looked at me with something close to pity. "You were always busy taking care of everyone," she said. "He needed someone who put him first." I turned to my husband, desperate now, searching his face. "Is that true?" He finally looked at me. And that's when I knew. There was guilt, yes, but worse than that, there was relief. "I love her," he said quietly. "And the baby. I can't walk away from my child." Something inside me cracked, then went completely numb. "So you already chose," I whispered. I didn't cry. I didn't beg. I stepped back, steady, calm in a way that scared even me. "Get out," I said. They hesitated. "I didn't, both of you," I repeated, louder now. "Leave my apartment," as they walked out together. Hands brushing, claiming what they stole, I stood alone, realizing something terrifying and powerful at the same time. This wasn't just heartbreak. This was the end of the woman I used to be, and the beginning of someone they never saw coming. The aftermath was worse than the betrayal, because once the door closed, the silence screamed. I cleaned like a machine, hands shaking, heart completely hollow. Rose petals, gone. Sheets ripped off. Memories, boxed up like they never mattered. Then I collapsed on the bare mattress and finally broke. Not loud, Not dramatic, just quiet sobs that felt endless. By noon, I called a lawyer. By night, I changed the locks. By morning, my marriage was officially over, even if the paperwork hadn't caught up yet. I thought that was rock bottom. I was wrong. A week later, I was called into a family meeting, a restaurant we once loved, now reserved like a courtroom. They were already seated when I arrived. My husband, beside my sister, her hand resting on her stomach. My parents across from them, stiff, silent, and his mother, sitting at the head of the table, composed, cold, in control. She spoke first. "Victoria is carrying my grandchild," she said. "That takes priority over my marriage, over my life." They wanted a quiet divorce. No mess. No drama. They even offered to help pay for it, as long as I didn't make things difficult. I looked at my parents, waiting for them to defend me. They didn't. That silence, it hurt worse than walking into that bedroom. And then she said it, smiling politely, like this was a compliment. "Victoria is better suited to be David's wife. More ambitious. More polished." I felt something snap. Not pain. Not grief. Clarity. I stood up slowly, hands steady, voice calm. "You don't get to erase me," I said. "You don't get to decide my worth." I walked out without looking back, not realizing yet that this moment, this humiliation, was the exact point where everything in my life would change. I left that restaurant feeling empty, but not weak. Because when you lose everything at once, there's nothing left to protect. The divorce was brutal. Lawyers, paperwork, numbers reducing my life to line items. He fought me on everything. The apartment, the savings, even the wedding gifts. By the time it was over, I walked away with $8,000, 4 years erased, and a silence where love used to live. Then the city turned on me. My job disappeared. Restructuring, they called it. But I knew better. Power travels fast when the right people whisper. Boston became a place that rejected me at every corner, every street carrying memories I couldn't breathe through anymore. One night, sitting on my empty floor, surrounded by rejection emails, my best friend said the words that saved me. "You don't need revenge," she said. "You need distance." 2 weeks later, I packed my car. Clothes, my laptop, a box of photos I couldn't open yet. I left behind my family, my marriage, my old identity. The drive was long, lonely, terrifying. 27 hours of doubt and silence. But when I crossed into Texas, I pulled over and cried. Not because I was broken, but because I was scared and hopeful at the same time. Austin didn't welcome me with comfort. It gave me a tiny apartment, a rattling AC unit, and bills I barely knew how to pay. So I worked. Morning coffee shifts, afternoon interviews, night freelancing until my eyes burned. Ramen dinners, second-hand clothes, no safety net. Just a quiet promise I made to myself. If I'm starting over, it's going to be on my terms. And I had no idea yet that this city was about to give me everything they said I'd never become. Success didn't arrive all at once. It came quietly, in small wins no one clapped for. One client said yes, then another. Then referrals started replacing rejection emails. I learned new skills because I had to. Coding at night, failing forward, building something out of pure survival. That's where I met Marcus. Not a savior, not a rescuer, just someone who understood loss, and ambition, and rebuilding from the ground up. Together we built a company. Not fast, not easy, but honest. Years later, standing in a ballroom filled with power and money, I saw them again. My ex-husband, my sister, older, tired, carrying the weight of choices they couldn't undo. They saw my name on the wall, my work funding scholarships, my life standing taller than theirs ever did. I felt nothing. No anger, No need to prove anything. And that's when I understood. The real victory wasn't success. It wasn't money. It wasn't recognition. It was peace. I didn't win because they lost. I won because I left. One chose myself, when everyone else chose comfort, control, and convenience. I built a life that didn't require revenge, or validation, or permission. If you're listening to this, and your world just collapsed, hear me clearly. This isn't the end. Sometimes heartbreak is just the moment. Life removes what can't go where you're headed. And what's waiting for you, on the other side of letting go, is stronger, braver, and more powerful than anything you're leaving behind.